great quote in here that I'd never heard before. The quote is, "They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds." And a lot of the music that I listened to back then talked about that stuff. So I didn't bury those seeds ever, really. And is that something that you did? Obviously, you put the quote in here. But how do you see yourself? How did you bury those seeds?
So I included the quote for a few reasons. The first is effectively exactly what you alluded to. So these internal demons, these self-doubts, these self-criticisms, I felt were a huge weakness. And so to compete, to whether that's in sports, academics, or otherwise, I kept that all in. So I actually grew up on the same music or similar music, but I was listening to Slayer. I was listening to a lot of dark music, which I can still appreciate the double bass and so on in a Slayer album. But for me, because I never chose to express any of that, I had no release valve. So it actually fed, I think, in a way, this type of self-loathing. And it could have been biochemical in the first place. I don't know, quite frankly. And I mean, my family, at least on one side, has a history of extended depression and schizophrenia and so on. Schizophrenia less so, but so maybe it started there. Who knows? I don't know what the origin is. And so I included that quote as a reminder of two things. A, when you try to suffocate or bury or disregard these thoughts and emotions, as opposed to contend with them or deal with them in some fashion, they are seeds. And you're pouring fertilizer on them when you try to neglect and avoid them. The second reason I put that in is to remind myself, if you feel like external if you feel like external circumstances or external actors, meaning people, are stacking the deck against you or trying to bury you, right? Trying to defeat you in some fashion, you are the seed, so you can recover from that. And there's strength to be found in the struggle. So I included it for both of those reasons.
Things I said on the podcast, on one of the earlier podcasts, is I just said, don't let the demons ambush you. Don't let them sneak around in there. You got to bring them out. You got to bring them out and confront them and deal with them. Don't try and bury them. Bring them out. And so that's very similar.